Happy Friday. Hey, it's Friday. And if the camera doesn't fall over, it's Cade. So we're talking about safe sex. And of course, since I go on Friday, a lot has been talked about already. I'm here to talk to you about the trans side of safe sex. I think one of the most common fears when it comes to trans people, especially FTM guys like me, and sex, is the health side of it. It's really freaking scary. And I know that, seeing a doctor as a female is especially scary as well, but we have the added hurdle of what you see being not necessarily what you get. So, I don't know, doctor's visits for me are tough, but they're necessary, no matter how awkward they are, because it's going to be a lot more awkward when you have some serious health issue that you have to deal with and you have no choice about, It's better to be a little awkward at the beginning and be safe than a lot awkward at the end and have your health at risk. The good thing about trans health is that we have some specific resources created for us to go to. Because I know there are probably a lot of people that are like, well, I'm not going to go to a gyno because they're not going to know what to do with me, They're not going to be educated, and they're not going to know about the hormones and how they affect me and what things should be and what they shouldn't. And there's a lot of information and education that has to come as a precursor to being treated as a trans person. So I wrote down a few links to get you started in case you have no idea where to turn, if you're just now transitioning or you're thinking about it or you know someone that needs some help. There's a site called nickgorton.com. I was doing a little research, and he has some health, he's a doctor, and he has this huge document of health information all about trans sex and trans bodies and health. And I think it comes from a medical point of view, which is a lot. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that we maybe don't know or need to know that you can find there. Also, just your number one resource should be your LGBT clinic. I think that every major city in the U.S. has one now. Dallas's clinic is called the Nelson Thibodeau Clinic. It's on Oak Lawn near the Strip, or Cedar Springs, I'm sorry, near the Strip. If you need information on that, I am one of their clients, so you can hit me up in a private message. But yeah, check there first, because most of them have programs or discounts or information, and they already know about your history and about your partner's history. So there are three major conferences or conventions that have to do with trans people, health, sex, information. Even if you don't have to be a trans person. You could be a partner or a friend or a family member, or thinking about transitioning. And those three are the Southern Comfort Convention, or conference rather, in Atlanta, and that's in September. And there's a Gender Odyssey conference in Seattle, and I want to say that that's in September as well. I think it's the first weekend of September, and Southern Comfort is the last. And then this weekend right now, the 11th through the 13th, is the Philly Trans Health Conference, which is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And it's open to everyone, anyone that wants to learn about trans health or that needs some resources or some outreach. And I put all the links in the sidebar so that you guys can check it out. After you've got all your health bases covered, you're covered physically and you're having safe sex and you know your body and you're good to go on that front, there's still a lot of other factors that lead to safe sex. It's not just physical. There's a huge emotional and mental sector that hasn't really been touched on. I know the girls were saying that you probably make better decisions when you're not trash. And that's very true. That is very true. And that ties into all of the emotional stability that comes with sex. Sex is a huge deal, you know. It's not to be taken lightly, even if you're casually dating. You know, it's a personal opinion whether you want to be in a relationship to have sex. Doesn't make you a bad person either way. You know, sex is independent to everyone. It's an identity thing, you know, and sex brings people together, and it separates them depending on what you like or who you're into or what you're okay with. And there is no wrong way to have safe sex, as long as you're safe. There is no wrong way to have safe sex. Just like anyone else, having sex with a trans person is a case-by-case thing, you know. Not every trans person likes to have the same sex, and not every trans person is okay with the same things. You know, sometimes it's just a matter of terminology and what words they're okay with, or specific actions that they're okay with. Don't always assume that if you're dating a trans guy that he is going to want to relate to you in a strictly heteronormative sexual, you know, vanilla sex sort of way. So I think that a lot of people will surprise you, especially people with lesbian backgrounds. You know, I've been in numerous lesbian sexual relationships, and I walked away with it having an added experience. You know, having a bit more background and a bit more knowledge of what I'm into and what I'm okay with, and how to be with a woman. So it's all about open communication. As long as you talk about it and you say, you know, this is what I'm scared of, or this is what I'm into. It doesn't always have to be this huge conversation. You know, open communication can be as much as body language. It could be guiding someone, you know, with your hands, or it could be simple command words, like, you know, yes. Yes is always a good one. It's a good place to start. Or, you know, if you're more comfortable being more verbose, then sit down with your partner and talk to them about it. You know, either way, as long as you're comfortable and you're down with what you're doing and both people are on the same page, then just have a fucking blast, man. As much as sex is this amazing, wonderfully great thing, everything that comes before it is almost just as great. You know, don't rush into things because you think you're missing out on something. Because if you're not ready, then it's not going to make a difference. I could talk about this topic for a very, very long time. There are so many facets that we have yet to even break the surface on. So hopefully stay tuned, and there'll be more videos about these topics in the future. Who knows, maybe I'll even post one on my personal site. If you're getting laid, be safe, have fun. And if you're not, well, it happens to the best of us. Hang in there. Have a great weekend. Bye.